All right, guys, welcome to my little lake in North Texas. A beautiful, beautiful day. And what you're looking at there, this is not an iKon review. This is a day I got to spend in it. And so Ross knows I wanted to do some reviews this year. And they have this boat in inventory. This is a used boat. I believe it's a 2024. It's a LX21, 21 foot, 10 inches, massive beam, 98-inch beam. It's I think probably got the most acreage of any boat I've ever fished out of. So, the 05 21Rs and those boats are 21.9 with a 96-inch beam. The Jaguar is 22, but it's only got a 94-inch beam. So this is just a massive boat. And I want to get to spend, I've got it for a couple of weeks. I've already spent 2 days in it. I'm just going to fish out of it. And one thing I have not been able to do yet is put it in rough water, because that's what you buy a boat this big for, is if you're on big water or you fish with a lot of people in the boat. So we're going to spend the day in it. I'm going to do the regular intro here in just a second, and we'll have a review on this boat probably starting in about a week and a half. So stay tuned. Some things I like, some things I don't like, and I'll share all those things with you as I always do. So let's go fishing. Okay, so first couple of minutes in the iKon, and I filled it full of water because I opened this box and I'm like, why is this box wet? This box has been in storage. And I looked in the bottom of the box and there's water in there, and I'm like, what? Wait, what? What's going on? Well, come to find out, any boat you buy, if you forget to put the drain plug in, it'll take on water. So I got water in the floor. I got water everywhere. Really well done. Luckily, this boat has the remote drain plug option, so I didn't have to run back and stick it on the trailer and do all that stuff. So anyway, I am in an iKon. The biggest one, the 21 foot 10 inch. This is a massive boat. And I'm gonna get to spend several days in it. We're gonna show y'all some fishing videos, but then at the end of all those days, so I'm on a small lake today, so there's no real way other than speed to tell you how the boat rides. But we're gonna take it out on some big water, some little water. By the way, got a good bill pump, that's good to know. So, anywho, that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna carry y'all along with me. So it feels like whopper flopper weather. Water temperature 69 degrees. Let's check it out. That one was in ankle deep water. Nuked it. Just a little guy, but he nuked it. Thanks for playing. I'm gonna say short fish. But first fish in an iKon. I should probably clarify, guys. I've said this before, but I am not changing boat brands. I've got a boat on order. This is just pure curiosity about boats and how they've progressed. And, boats have really improved since we did the original review 4 years ago. Started right at 4 years ago. So, and I see stuff in this boat I like that you wouldn't have seen in a boat 4 years ago. So, we're just gonna go fishing. Check it out. Catch that fish right there. Okay, watch this. This is a rattle trap, and I stop reeling. That trap was hanging below the boat while I adjusted my live scope. And that dandy come up there and got it. Just hanging. An orange rattle trap hanging straight down. That's crazy. I'm not getting a hook in my hand. You old nasty stuff. Stop it. I could see them busting out here, and I just turned around and threw out there to them. I never got the handle turned on that one. I don't know if I got a hook in it. Another little guy. Thought that might be a decent fish. Crawling on this one. I'm not sure what that is, guys. I'm not sure. Doesn't have a patch. Look at this little guy. He doesn't have a patch, but he's got crazy coloring. That may be a little brown one. Every once in a while they're hard to tell. He missed it the first time. I know there's some better fish in here. It didn't take long with chatterbait. I'm gonna tell you right now, that's a smallmouth, guys. I didn't know there were smallmouth in here, but that is a smallmouth. Look at here. Look at that big pretty brown thing. Look at that. When he went darting by the boat, I thought, well shoot, that looks like a smallmouth. That is a gorgeous smallmouth. It's been a long time since I've caught one. Oh, chatterbait, that fish will weigh, that's a chunk, man. Fish will weigh over 2 pounds, I bet. That fish bit it. I might have that on camera. That fish literally bit it directly. There wasn't 4 feet of line out when that fish bit.
see what this little chunk weighs. It's a 2.5 pounder, 2.8. Pretty fish. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I could dig on some of that. I don't know what that was. That was not a bass. If it was, I mean, that fish grabbed, I must have thrown it over the back of something. I know I got a lot of noise, but that fish just took off out from under that dock and just took my thunder cricket and broke my line like it was nothing. That was massive. That was not a bass. That was massive, whatever that was. Holy smokes, that thing bolted. That was crazy. All right, boys and girls, Mom, that's the first day, and I apologize, I cannot remember the model number of this boat. It's a 21-foot 10-inch boat, and it's the more expensive of the two. So Vexus makes 4 boats, and I'll get this right later, but they make a, I'm gonna mess it up. Anyway, so they make 4 hulls and then a lot of variations, which are just options around those hulls. This is the biggest and the nicest. Could it be faster? Absolutely. I don't think, I say that. Would you like it to be faster? Yes. You could put a 300 on it. I'm surprised that they have not asked to get this boat rated higher. I mean, you can put a 500 on a Jag, and a Jag's 2 inches longer. So I can't imagine they can't at least get a 400 on here if they would go through the process of doing that with the Coast Guard. But you know, could it be faster? Yes. Could it be smoother? I don't know, man. It's so far. Now again, there's no waves today, but knowing what I know about how boats react when you're driving them, I think it's going to be a really good big water boat. I'm curious how it lands, and we'll figure all that out. The next ugly day we'll get out on Hubbard where he gets ugly, or Ray Roberts, or maybe even Texoma. But I enjoyed my first day in it, and try to get out in it again real soon. I will say I don't love this. So in my Bass Cat, now I've not seen the newest Bass Cat screen, but on this one there's not a digital trim gauge. So you've got to go to that screen, which is fine. You got your trim gauge over here then. But I like it when you crank a motor, it automatically jumps to that screen. That may be in the settings where you can do that, but I'd love to see that change on how this thing is set up. Or give me, I'm fine personally just with an old analog or a digital, whatever you want to call it, trim gauge on the side, and the jack plate. I still haven't figured out where the jack plate gauge is. It may be in there somewhere, but I can't find it. So let's check out the whole shot one last time. You know, it's funny, we've talked about before how, like, especially with measurements, I would look at a boat and I would think that's a really wide boat or that's a really narrow boat. You put a tape measure on it and it's not what you think it is. This boat is really funny. at 64, 65 miles an hour, it feels like you're flying. And the other day in that Jag at 75, 78, it felt like you were just purring along. So I don't know why that is. I'm sure it's something to do with where you sit in the boat, or, you know, I don't know the attitude of the boat, but it's weird to me. It feels like you're going a whole lot faster than what you're going in the boat. And so, by the way, I have done a little bit of research. I'm going to ask the iKon guys if they've done this, but my guess is typically you only pick up maybe 2 or 3 miles an hour going, at least in bass cats, going from a 250 to a 300. And then you can pick up almost as much again going to an R motor. So with the 300R, I think this boat, and I know somebody who's got one ordered, with the 300R, I think this boat's going to be a 73, 74 mile an hour tournament loaded boat, maybe 75. But again, this is not a boat you're buying to go fast. This is a boat you're buying to have all this damn room. It's just crazy. I'll measure it out. You guys will see. It's a big boat.